Hello to everyone that is affected in some way, shape, or form by Pisces. We hadn't even said the word Pisces before that card jumped, so we're going to keep going. Pisces, this is your October general reading for 2017, whether it's your sun, your moon, ascendant, your significant other. This reading is for those in Pisces. Thank you for joining me once again and for all your support through September. It means so much to me. We're starting off with the Oracle cards, Pisces, for some direction and wisdom that will carry through to the cusp readings and the romance readings. So be sure to check those out as well. But let's get into it for you right away, Pisces. We're ready to throw down. We're ready to get into it. You guys, for your overall wisdom oracle, have pulled card number 36, Come to the Edge. So matters of faith, matters of going out on a limb, matters of taking a risk even, for progression, for growth, as always. Whenever we're invited to come and take a look over the edge, it's usually for some sort of perspective or shock value almost. Some people are always apprehensive to get a little bit too close to the edge, especially if there's a fear of heights going on, in a more mundane physical aspect to this card. But with these wisdom oracle cards by Colette Baron Reed, they're usually a metaphor for what's going on in our life or what we're feeling, okay? So some of us are maybe focused very much right now on getting things in order, getting books in order, getting possessions in order. Maybe you guys are clearing some things out and making sure all is set and in its place right now. Pisces, can be very typical here when it's like you have extra time to want to make sure so that everything is where it needs to be and you are maximizing your time, your energy, and your investments, okay? Now, come to the edge could mean for many of you that there is an exciting opportunity that is going to almost like cause the butterflies in your tummy or a lump in your throat kind of thing. You could see that coming up in October where something is asking you to overcome a little apprehension or even fear in order to embrace something. And this could be an idea or a proposal, not like a traditional, like I got down on one knee and asked you to marry me, but any kind of proposal asking you of some sort of commitment. Now, come to the edge as well is asking you to come out of any sort of cocoon phase that you might be in terms of metamorphosis. You might be on the precipice of emerging, coming out into the world, okay? For some of you, this is an expression for sexuality, for gender, things like that, where we live in an age that's kind of like politically and socially like at the forefront of like what's going on. But Pisces, this card is backed by your strong emotional balance, your strong emotional understanding. And it could be that somebody has got you in a place where it's like you're wanting to push the envelope, to push the boundaries, okay, with card Come to the Edge. And when it comes to wisdom, it's always like a reminder as well. Make sure of your footing before you walk to the edge, and be sure you have like at least somebody else's perspective before you're jumping into anything blindly. You want to be in a place where I feel you're gathering information so that you can come to the edge, so that you can be drawn to take a look, or to add some adrenaline and an excitement in your life, okay? So for some of you, this could be just like new activities. Perhaps you're taking up like rock climbing or skydiving or something like that, where you're like, there's a lot of excitement abound about some new thing that's like really, much more than what you've done before, or is opening a new door to experience, I feel, okay? So we'll refer back to that throughout these readings for the month of October and find out what is beckoning you to come to the edge, what has you curious, and that sort of thing. All right, now we're going to consult the second oracle deck for direction, for compass, all right? Which way to the edge? Which way do we want to go? Where do we want to turn? Do we want to stop? Do we continue on the same path? Which direction does Pisces need to take for October 2017? Yes, Pisces, again, the small chit-chat as we shuffle up the oracle cards. Thank you for all that have checked out the roundtable videos. Those are just kind of like the little mini vlogs that we do about tarot and about where we're at. Okay. For your direction, you've pulled card number 45, Sad Embrace. So, I'm going to say it. Some of you might be in a situation where you are on the rebound, you are on the mend. You are having to collect yourself, I feel. And as well, some of you are having to let go of past hurts so that you can be open to new relationships at this time, all right? If you've been single, Pisces, for a number of months or a number of years, this card is an indication for direction that you need to forgive others and yourself in this sort of situation for any wrongdoings or for any things that sort of went awry, maybe that didn't even have full closure. If you're upset with yourself, if you're feeling any kind of remorse at this time, it's a real important time to do some inner work, to get some forgiveness going on, to feel comfortable in your own skin, sort of thing, all right? This poor little guy's got his head buried in his knees, and he's just like, oh, coulda, woulda, shoulda, or if only, that sort of thing. Now, sadness is something, we take the words of this card and we're going to twist them a little bit. Sadness is something that sometimes needs to be embraced. We have to move through our anguish at times, or move through our disdain or our overall sorrow for things. So if you've lost a loved one and you're in a grieving process, just be reminded that it's okay. Let it occur naturally on your own time, okay, and come to terms with the things that are beyond your control in full acceptance. This card here is fully a card of letting go and being in acceptance, okay? Now, some of you may have to come out of your comfort bubble in order to do that. Some of you, I feel, could be burying over past hurt or past pain with an unwillingness to look at it. And it could cause like new relationships to get off on the wrong foot, or new relationships to stall out because it's in a position where you are at risk of running like a cycle, of getting back into it, maybe for some of the wrong reasons, or without fully having healed from the last relationship, okay? So it's not the end of the world kind of news in these oracle cards. It's very balanced. There's a lot of excitement abound. But this sad embrace card for your direction is like, give yourself permission sometimes, Pisces. Give yourself permission to do the things that you want to do. Even though maybe past experiences that have been similar have resulted in certain amounts of pain, certain amounts of heartache, the universe and source is asking you to let go of that. And even if it occurs again, right? Even if there's a slight chance of it occurring again, it's like you have to feel that inner strength and be calm enough to be aware of that so that you reduce the chances of things being cyclical of that nature. And it is relationship. It has that feeling for a lot of you, okay? These cards can be very like overarching or very generic when it comes to like the messages that behind them. But me intuitively, I feel that this is for Pisces that are single and that are like maybe in new relationships or seeking out new relationships, okay? For the singles, all right? That's what we got here. Now, we're going to get some cards down in a Celtic cross from the Gilded Tarot just to find out what's going on on your street, in your neighborhood. These are the people in your neighborhood. All right? And just like, yeah, very much like if you had $20 in a tarot deck and a couple hands, feet, and eyes to do a read, you could like, you could do this reading kind of thing. We're not going too deep. We're keeping it very surface level type stuff. That helps a lot of people that check out these readings. The next spread is going to be a little bit more for the depth, okay? But here, let's just take a look at what's going on around you in the old Celtic cross, all right? Pisces, it's good to see you guys. I hope you're all doing well. I hope when we look at these cards, it's like nothing comes along that you can't handle, right? That sort of thing. Okay, what we got up here in the overall environment is a Page of Swords. So there could be conflict. I see conflict, right? He's on the chessboard in this tarot with an air sign at this time, a younger air sign. There could be somebody in your environment that is very pushy right now or very unreceptive to new ideas, I feel, okay? This is somebody that is like, can be at times like too much into gossip, too much into spreading rumors and these kind of things. So you're looking at Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is someone as well that has not really come to a fullness of maturity in the way that their social graces, I should say, right? What's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and that kind of thing. All right. So some of you may have a child, an older child, like maybe in college or university, where it's like they could be leaning on you for resources, or there could be a situation where it's like there's a little bit of trouble with them wanting to do things much differently than your expectations, perhaps. This as well for some of you could be people in your work environment, in your professional environment that you're trying to guide, you're trying to help, but it's like they are very stubborn due to immaturity. Okay, and if you are dating a younger air sign, or if you have broken up with a younger air sign, and it's kind of like maybe they were everything and more when it came to the package of what you were looking for. Maybe you got to give your head a little bit of a quick shake and say, you know what? There are more people out there like that. Maybe they had a six-pack abs, or maybe they had the beautiful eyes, or whatever it is. This person is generally very attractive and can be very seductive even when the Page of Swords is after something in particular. But what they're after changes in a heartbeat, and sometimes it leaves a wake of sadness or hurt feelings as a result of it. Okay, so seeing that in your overall aspect, that could be a result of a person. Okay, let's take a look at you now in the Querent card, see what's going on. The Four of Cups. Yeah, some of you are desiring an increase in the amount of bliss and the amount of happiness in your life, okay? It's not too far away. It's almost like there's a thin veil that exists between you and what you want at this time. And that's okay. But the Four of Cups is saying here, it's like there is some sort of contractual agreement that you have with yourself to either not go for these things or to fully go for them. You are being supported by nature at this time, I feel, your own nature. I just feel like some of the finer things, like inner work in terms of forgiveness, is at play here. And some of you are questioning how badly you really even maybe want to be in a relationship that you're currently in. Or if you are strongly desiring a relationship, you need to kind of ask yourself to what end, for what means. Like, do you want to have a snuggle buddy? Do you want to have a friends with benefits? Or do you want to have like marriage material like at your doorstep? And we always kind of in the Four of Cups get that little forewarning of like, be careful of what you wish for, because it may almost be too much for you to handle. Like, look at the size of this cup. This cup is like bigger than this dude's torso. Like, it could be more than he or she could handle, because it's coming in from source. It's coming in from the divine. And sometimes when we aggressively like do our wishes and we're manifesting things, we have to sort of take things a little bit slower, okay? So with this Four of Cups as the significator in here, this card is like wish fulfillment that is yet to be attained, or that still needs to be evaluated or questioned at this time. Somebody I feel is just like flown the coop on a relationship, or is wanting to fly the coop on a relationship. Nothing is really like overly grounded here in this situation, even though it may be giving the perception that it is, all right? Let your yeses be yes, your noes be noes. Wishy-washy type attitudes will not be serving you well, Pisces, and people in your environment that have this wishy-washy attitudes it's even worse at this time. It's like not even wanting it. So what is challenging or helping you? You've got Major Arcana number 13, Death, that's crossing this reading, okay? Now, don't be alarmed. Don't be scared. It's not like always the physical, like, life cycle thing. This is the card of renewal and transformation, all right? And as well, there is protection in this. So it's kind of like, then let's take, for example, the natural disasters that have been occurring for many people in the collective. We'll bring it back to you in a second, Pisces, but I just want to draw this line for you. So it's like whether it's a forest fire, whether you lost your home in a hurricane or a forest fire, or you know somebody that did, it's like it seems like completely disastrous, like right there on the surface level. But this cleansing, this clearing that has occurred has allowed people to start at their foundations, to come back to what they call square one. If you want to talk about Monopoly or Sorry, the board games, or the cornerstone, the foundation of what they're doing and who they are. So when we see the death card here in our environment challenging us or helping us, it's asking us to go back within, to almost to stop what we were doing, to cease the things that are not boding well, either in the short term or in the long term. It's almost like if you lead a very balanced day and, half your day is spent, kind of doing the grind, and then, you may be very tired after all that. So you maybe like procrastinate on doing good spiritual work, whether that's yoga, meditation, or things like that. This card is really asking you to take the finer things that you can do to improve self and act upon them, okay? And there are certain circumstances of things coming in this month that are going to almost force you into it. And it may seem a little bit scary. It does have this like come to the edge sort of aspect to it, where it's like you might be a little bit apprehensive to confront your fears at this time, and that's okay. Nobody's like really pushing you towards it, but source is eventually saying like there's something here that is going to occur or that needs to occur for you in order so that you can regenerate, in order so that you can build again. And for a lot of you, it's letting go of this sorrow, letting go of this sadness, or whatever has not been forgiven within self or in your nearest, closest relationships. For some of you, you could be in a situation where you like can take consistent breaks. You're in on again, off again relationships, and all it is like somebody laying a fat brake stand down on the tarmac. You're getting nowhere. You're burning your rubber. You're burning your gas. You're burning everything. You're damaging your car, but you're not going anywhere, right? That sort of things. And so if that's a situation, you may be presented with some ultimatums at this time, like, look, what are we doing here? Are we a go? Are we not a go? Can you quit screwing around for a few weeks or a few months to let me know that you're there for me? If not, we gotta pull the pin on this thing. We gotta get out. We gotta get moving. Okay. Won't beat that dead horse to death, okay? Because that's the death card. But here we go. What's crowning this reading is a King of Pentacles, all right? Now, this is direction, this is guidance. This is somebody, we want to look at it physically as an older earth sign, a Capricorn, a Taurus, or a Virgo, that has the potential here to allow you to embrace what it is you're apprehensive to do at this time. This person, I feel, is a catalyst for you to go out, to change your routine, to liven things up even a little bit. And this person could be like very generous to you as well, and your pride might be holding you back. They could be like, you know what, come out to the city for a little while, or come over here and don't worry about the bill. Like, this is on my dime, this is my treat. But you know, you might be like, oh no, if I allow them to do that, you know, there's always like some sort of obligation or some sort of expectation behind it. The King of Pentacles, when he's upright and wanting to be generous, don't be concerned about being obligated to others if they want to be generous to you. It is a time where it's like some of your receptivity could be tested, like certain small blessings and little things and people treating you could be coming your way, and you may just be having a hard time dealing with it because there's something maybe in your emotions or your conditioned thinking that's like, I should not accept this, you know, what are they going to want further down the road kind of thing. But this King of Pentacles crowning it is saying, like, be receptive and be in your own authentic self when it comes to realizing that, you know, the things around you and the time that you have at your disposal, you don't want to waste that. You don't want it to just kind of keep letting it slide by and letting it, you know, gather dust in a closet. Like, go out, dig that stuff out, clear it out, and clean it out. And you may find that, like, maybe you've got all this clutter around you, and maybe the feng shui or the chi of your sanctuary could be even off a little bit at this time, Pisces, where it's like, it's almost like the metaphorical clearing plus the physical clearing that's occurring for you in October. Coming in through the past is a Five of Wands reversed. So this is okay to see this card reversed in this position. It means that, like, things you have dealt with, people that you have been at conflict with, these things will soon be put to rest, or somebody will see, like, or understand that too much, like, bickering or fighting is not helping the situation at all. And you could be in a situation where you've come out of it and you're feeling a lot better about how to deal with adversity overall, right? And it could be like somebody standing in your way at work, somebody vying for your position, or somebody trying to have you do things their way, and you just have never seen the point of it, and you've recently just decided that you're going to make a clean break, or you're not going to listen to this foolishness anymore. You're going to simply walk away from it. And again, it involves this younger air sign, or this air sign that is acting very immaturely right now. It's a situation where it's like you've almost like kind of sat them down and told them, like, look, no more. Like, how can you think that this is acceptable to treat people this way or expect these things of people that, you know, you have no right, or you have no reason to expect this or to order this from other people, right? Kind of thing. And it's almost like you could be fed up in a certain amount of things going on around you, okay? But this is subsiding. This has arisen, I feel, for a lot of you, and it is in the process of subsiding. It's calming down. You could be effectively putting out the fire, so to speak, okay? And good, because what's in the foundation of your reading is a Two of Wands. the decisions that you've made and the overall impression that you give to people right now is that you deserve more and you want more and you're going to go out and you're going to get more. And if that involves taking a risk, if it involves the carpe diem, I think they call it the path less traveled, you might be willing in October and wanting to take that path, and people are going to be like, WTF, why the heck did they do that? And then, in a couple months time or further down the road into February, the decision you make in October is going to come full circle, and people are going to be like, oh wow, look, we missed the boat, whereas Pisces got on the boat and they effectively made their life better by doing something that was a little bit sort of less than ordinary sort of thing, okay? And the Two of Wands is, again, a realization that they are much more than what they do and what they think. And the world is much larger and the universe is much larger than what we can literally perceive in the moment. It is more of like a collective culmination of experiences, memories, thoughts, and feelings. This could be you could be finding yourself very introspective. The sun is transiting into Libra, and I think, Pisces, you are very affected by this in that you are going to take this self-reflective time in October almost to heart, almost to the nth degree, where it's like you will be measuring things like your self-worth and your abilities and your desires and your passions to go out and do things. Because the Four of Cups is stating that right now it's somewhat stagnant, but the Two of Wands at the foundation is like, this is the kick in the pants. This is the awareness we need and the information that we're gathering so that we can see where we're at now and evaluate it and juxtapose it against where we want to be or where we're hoping to go, all right? That sort of thing. In the near future, we have a Ten of Cups reversed. Okay, so if you've been in a situation where maybe you've broken up with a long-term lover or you're on the outs, maybe you're fighting with your husband or your wife at this time, this card is saying in the near future that there needs to be some sort of rule book or like game plan, boundaries that need to be set or expectations that need to be let go of or better understood or even better adhered to by somebody in your life that is affecting your happiness at this time. The sorrow that I'm feeling that is coming in is almost because of like a precondition expectation that of future events. You want things to be a certain way, but they're not always fizzling out to be that. Sorry, fizzling out's the wrong word. They're not always coming to fruition the way you expected them to. And then sometimes it might be a little bit upsetting because there could be like the blame game going on where it's like somebody could be blaming you for things or somebody could be telling other people that this is all your fault, Pisces. Or there could be a situation where it's like, somebody's up to no good, or that somebody is acting out of turn, but it's very tough to engage that because there could be a lot at risk, okay? So in the near future, again, take care of your sanctuary, take care of your household, and take care of your relationships through communication, effective communication, okay? Like going back to that, putting your cards on the table and saying, this is what it is. If it turns out for the worse, right? If it turns out like the last thing, I'm going to be okay with that, but I'm also going to be in a position where I'm going to be able to let it go, right? And if it's come to the edge, right? If you're like a situation where it's like, maybe you had somebody that cheated on you and you forgave them and you're still together. And now you have an opportunity. Maybe you've been, kind of smitten with somebody outside of that relationship. And now, like, maybe you've been tempted to be like, okay, well, maybe it's okay if I go and develop some new relationships here outside of this thing because the other person does it to me all the time, right? You don't want that kind of to come to the edge or take a little bit of a risk or like come out of yourself. I mean, you're loyal, you're true, you're honest, Pisces. And you are very forgiving if that were to happen to you. But still, at what level is that kind of still bubbling down deep inside of you? And I hope it's not too much, all right? Wow. Four of Swords coming out in your environment. Back to sanctuary. Yeah, clean it out. Let's clean out our bedrooms. Let's clean out our brains. Let's do some breathing exercises so that we can remember the wholeness, or we can, again, get back to this situation where we are much more than what we think and what we do. It's very much connecting with spirit and connecting with the greater purpose, okay? Two of Wands and Four of Swords when combined together is beautiful because it's like you can progress, you can move along slowly, on your own timetable. And if other people have expectations to you, or they're asking you to move too quickly, it's like you want to come and you want to slow down with this, like the King of Pentacles normally would. They'd be like, whoa, horsies, let's just settle down. Let's take it all in. Let's realize what's going on around you, both at face value and look for the deeper meaning, okay? So if you're finding you're just wanting to close the door, shut it all out for a little while, Pisces, that's okay. Your environment is supporting that right now. If you took a time out away from your social endeavors and away from things that, you could put on the back burner for a little while, please go ahead and do so. Don't feel like your deadlines are just kind of like all or nothing type things. If you do have deadlines to meet the ones that you currently have, and then maybe just tell people like no more for a little bit. I gotta recoup, I gotta relax, I gotta get it straight, whatever is going on there, okay? Now, best path to follow, you got the World reversed. Okay, completion. Let's finish it up. Let's get some closure. Let's tell this person. Let's tell these people, like, enough is enough. I'm done. I'm ready. I'm me. I want something new. I need a new start. I need a new chapter in my life to unfold. The best path to follow with the World is like, write the finishing paragraphs of this chapter or whatever is going on that had you feeling sad. And don't be afraid to do it. If the chapter has to have like this wicked, crazy twist ending to it, you go ahead and write it. You go ahead and be the one to say, I disappeared in a cloud of smoke and nobody can do anything about it because I'm Pisces and I can do that, right? And that's just fine. The World reversed here is not so bad. It's a very subtle reversal because the world's very round, right? And it's like new beginnings are waiting to happen, but you've got to close the door on this sort of stuff, all right? And sometimes in order to start a new chapter and close another one, we have to take a look over that scary edge to see, okay, we may be feeling very limited or very trapped in what we're doing in. And that end of that chapter, it involves like a great big leap of faith in order to make it happen. And that can be like the ultimate segue out of what has you feeling trapped to what is new and must be embraced. It's almost like you're doing it in one quick motion in October here, okay? So it's very interesting, very cool to see that energy coming in, right? It's exciting, but can be a little bit scary at times, all right? Hopes and fears, Hierophant. Yeah, maybe it's like, for some of you, it's like you're kind of like putting the nails in the coffin of a relationship that was long overdue to have ended, right? Or the situation is maybe somebody is a situation where it's like they've proposed and then somebody's been fence sitting for a long time and it's like, wow. Or you've been engaged, but you've been engaged for like years or like half a year and you're like, oh my goodness, are we going to set a date here? Are we going to do this? Like, are we still living at his mom's house or at her grandparents' house or whatever it might be, right? The Hierophant coming up in your hopes and your fears is that this level of sort of sanctity in relationships, whether it be monogamy, whether it be marriage, whether it just might be, your whatever rules you have written as your friends with benefits kind of thing, it's coming back to relationships for me again, right? But that's what I see, like these boundaries being set or these expectations are being gripped a little bit too tightly. There needs to be a little bit of a loosening of, what is acceptable and what you're willing to deny at this time, okay? The Hierophant says, do unto others as you have been done unto you. So you can forgive somebody, you can forget about what they've done, but that's a very difficult thing to do. You almost need to tell somebody, like, see things from my side, see things through my eyes. Walk a mile in my stinking shoes here. You continue to do this, that, and the other thing, and then the moment I decide to go out and have a free moment or to not bend to your like will and desire, well, everything blows up and it's all my fault kind of again type thing, right? The Hierophant is just kind of saying no more. Respect yourself enough to not allow people to treat you in ways that require your forgiveness, that require you to accept them unwillingly, okay? All right, now, up at the top, we've got the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so, yeah, this thing we're needing to slow down. This is the outcome provided nothing should change, right? And the Knight of Pentacles is a little tricky. You're having trouble moving, I feel, Pisces, through some situation that has physical implications, like 3D reality implications. I don't know if this is like time is running out or deadlines keep coming up again for some of you. Not sure. This could be in regards to loans, taxes, things like that. You might be struggling that way to just kind of wonder, or maybe that's part of the fear or the sadness is that you're feeling there might not be enough help right now, or you're asking your angels and your spirits guides, like, please help me out of this situation. It's tough to take a leap of faith if your security is at risk, even though your happiness has been compromised to some degree. The Knight of Pentacles reverse is saying, don't worry, it's okay. The Knight of Pentacles in most tarot decks is armored to the teeth, okay? It's tough to get in there. It's tough to break into that. But at the same time, you're in a position where it's like not much can hurt you. Nothing can hurt you. As long as you're going slowly, you're the turtle in the race here in this situation. See, the little rabbit doesn't even know what's going on. This air sign around you could just be moving so quick, demanding so much and being so much of a shit disturber that it's like, oh my goodness, you can't even deal with that. So you're having to withdraw and you're having to slow down and move it a little bit at your own pace at this time. And it's a struggle to do that, but eventually it will come. I think by the last weeks in October, you guys will have a better place of managing the situation. It won't feel as out of control because I think you're going to get to a point where you're going to be dealing with people a little bit more forthrightly, okay? It's interesting the Knight of Swords didn't come up or the Queen of Swords didn't come up, but when we see this, when we come back to this in your overall environment, it's kind of like there is a level of maturity that needs to be attained by the parties involved in the situation so that there is an end to confusion and there is an end to disdain and sadness and happiness, okay? Or a return to happiness, okay? And it is involving this sort of leap of faith or you writing this new chapter. All right. I mentioned that was surface level, but actually that stayed actually kind of on the deeper end of things, all right, with the cards that came out. Now, we're going to look to this deck here to take a look at the energy centers in the body for you, Pisces. Oh, I had some Lenormand cards still mixed in from the last reading. Don't mind me. I am like the worst card handler, tarot reader you're ever going to meet. I mean, I'm just kidding. Not the worst, but you know, I definitely have my challenges, my moments. I break a lot of rules of tarot. I'm not really a traditional reader. The cards are simply like that for me. They're a screwdriver. They're a wrench. Sometimes I drop the wrench right off the tower and it goes bouncing down and it bangs it up, or I leave it out in the rain and it gets all rusty. But the tarot cards are like a tool for the intuitive side, for the energy to flow through. It's like my eyeballs need the cards so that I come out of sort of a more linear way of perception or thinking, I guess. I'm just kind of trying to explain a bit my style and making some chit chat while we chat here. But fundamentally, I guess the root of what I'm driving at here is I am not a traditional tarot reader. I use tarot as a tool in the way that I see fit, and it's just like anything. It's like a mechanic with a wrench or an electrician with a screwdriver. You just sometimes, you need a bigger hammer. Sometimes you need to turn the pipe wrench around in order for it to work properly. And for me, it's just kind of like, if it feels right, I hear those yeses and nos, I see those green lights as I'm reading, and that's, for me, what it takes to just keep going, okay? And hopefully get you guys some answers and whatever help it is that you're looking for when you came here. Okay, so shuffle chit-chat's done. Let's go back into it. Let's start diving deep, as Ralph always says. In the grounding, you guys have pulled the Ten of Earth. So this is interesting to me to see this card up here. Some of you are in situations where it's like you almost feel like you could have almost everything you wanted and more, but now you're challenged by it. Now you're wondering, like, is there more? What is there, right? And this, again, for some, is taking your time back, discovering new dreams, or saying, like, maybe whatever it is you're requesting for with other people has brought you to a point where it's like you've been there, you've done that, you've got the t-shirt, and now these new dreams are trying to take root. But in order for that to happen, in order for the seedling to grow, it can't be in competition with the big old established tree that's right there, because the big old established tree, it'll take up all the water, it'll take up all the sunlight, so the little seedling will be starved for the resources that it needs. And the seedling is a metaphor for your new dreams, your new undertakings, the new things that you want to do, the things that you hear, you perceive, and then you try and ground them and do them for yourself or make manifest for yourself. That is the seedling. And that's what I feel you guys are really wanting to grow. You're supported by nature again at this time. This keeps coming up. Natural surroundings, like animals, plants. Maybe some of you are like caring for animals that were, maybe displaced by natural disasters, or your nurturing side is really at the forefront of what you want to be doing now. Maybe you have established enough security in your life where you're wanting now to take these chances. You're wanting to live a bit more by the seat of your pants kind of thing. And the Ten of Coins says it's a perfect time to do that. October is a time to allow your ideas to take root. Stop investing in things that are just like, they're boring. You've done them. You're reinvesting. It's time to start investing your time and resources into new ideas. And it's like taking the physical, what you have, and start planting the seeds. The metaphors, cliches, used time in, time out. But these cliches, they actually help me tarot readers, I gotta tell you guys. But we have a 10 of Earth, which is equivalent to 10 of Pentacles in tarot, which says your time, your resources, your energy, and money, ground them into your new ideas. Use them. Money, like tarot, we talked about tarot being a tool. Our money and our time is the exact same. It's no different. It's how we choose to manipulate it. It's how we choose to use it. It's how we perceive it, which allows us to be at one with the ebb and flow of how it comes and goes in our life. Sometimes we got too much on our time on our hands. Sometimes it doesn't feel like we have a minute to spare. Sometimes it feels like we're surrounded in abundance, and sometimes we wonder, if we're going to have enough to get through next month, right? And all the same time, we're trying to grow, we're trying to progress, we're trying to get our ideas off the ground, Pisces. You guys are very good at this. You guys are like always coming up with new, amazing ways to inspire the world around you. But right, you could be feeling like it's a bit of a struggle, but it's because I feel you haven't grounded your resources into your new ideas as of yet, okay? Let's move up into the sacral area, into our creative centers. You guys have pulled card number 12, the hero here, and this is a 12 of fire. So this is kind of would be equivalent to your Knight of Wands, right? This sort of situation. But the hero card in this particular situation is saying that there needs to be, you have to have this obligation to yourself and a willingness to try new things and a willingness to be creative in your endeavors. And it doesn't mean, in this case, maybe like learning to play guitar or become a better painter. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is like, you need to tell yourself, like, if I have an opportunity to go and do something that is completely brand new, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm not going to be afraid that if I go on a nature hike, I'm going to get mauled by a bear. Because, typically it's the same as like being struck by lightning. Yeah, okay, you don't want to go outside when there's lightning because you could be struck by lightning. Well, it's the same as like winning the Powerball, right? It's like, chances are it's not going to happen. So let go of these apprehensions and start going to new places, entering into new communities that they might feel that you like. They might make you feel uncomfortable at first, but that's part of it. That's part of the journey, right? What's another cliche they use? Coming out of your comfort zone, your comfort bubble, right? That's very much with this come to the edge, Pisces, so what that's suggesting. Okay, the lower Tao, the solar plexus, our willpower, our intuition, what's going on here? You guys have a reversal on 6 of Earth here, okay? So reception, being willing to receive, okay? That's what's come up here again. Intuitively, you feel it. Sometimes you have to override your willpower and just like be accepting. If somebody wants to be kind to you and, give you something that maybe you feel you haven't earned, just go with it. Just go for it. If there's unexpected surprises coming in from people, there are times where it's like we don't have to question everybody's motives. We can just like understand that some people just truly are generous. And if you've been giving too much in a relationship, it's time that, we got to bring this back into balance so that we're receiving as much as we're giving, or we are back into this do unto others thing with somebody, right? That might be have taken something a little bit too far, okay? You guys will know what that means, all right? For sure. But on the willpower side of things, be more receptive. Have the will to accept gifts, accept your blessings that are coming in, okay? And don't kind of conform to this idea that everything has a motive behind it, because so certainly some things do, or you can tell, maybe that's the situation where it's like a past relationship, somebody did something, or an air sign was like completely everything they did, then they asked for the return favor 2 days later, or there was some expectation that you would always be indebted to them for this thing, and it's like you're healing from that, you're clearing that out, you're letting that go. All right. Wow, look at this in the heart. Good job, Pisces. Look at this is card number 14, self, equivalent to temperance in the major arcana. And look at the beauty in this card. Look at the balance. Look at her. Just beautiful, sitting there, not being affected by whatever others have going on, or what others are saying, or what other people expect. There's just this calming down, this slowing things down in the heart chakra, to remember that your heart is protected, but your heart is also your major growth center. It's where the spirit pushes away through sadness, through the fire, to come out on top, to come out more liberated than when it went in. Now, this goes very back into your environment. Your inner body and your outer sanctuary are going to be direct mirrors of each other in October. So make sure you do this clearing out, both physically and internally, okay? Because when you do, the heart is longing for it. This chakra, I feel, is almost like kind of acting like a rusty Ferris wheel. You hit the power button and it spins for a little while, but then it's like really starts to grunt and grind. And then it's like you kind of have to remind yourself to like keep breathing, and to put yourself first in situations, and to be accepting of things that are coming into your life to benefit it, okay? Now, earlier you saw those Lenormand cards that were mixed up in this deck. The reason why is because I always pull a few of these for clarifiers for the heart chakra, all right? This is more so for me to connect with you, because the heart chakra, we're all such unique creatures, right? So when it comes to the heart, it's like you could have like very many different things going on. So let's just relax. All right. And look at this. We got more birds. The birds of flight. There's no birds of prey here. These are all very much benevolent birds that are like in your environment to show you liberation, the path of liberation through your